It's Nadine Blaney here with you from AusBiz. Wonderful to be with you here at the NWR Communications Investor Conference. Virtual, of course. It's been a wonderful 3 days and it's ending with a bang. We've got Shekel Brainweigh here with us. It is a global leader in developing scale and weighing technology. It's been around for more than 40 years. So it provides weighing solutions to the highly regulated retail and healthcare markets via global giants such as GE Healthcare, Toshiba, Fujitsu, Diebold Nixdorf, and others. So utilizing its experience in weighting technology, the company's established its retail innovation division, which is developing a suite of new products that are really aimed at meeting the challenges that traditional retailers face today, including store automation, operational efficiency, including overstock and understock inventory issues, as well as helping to enhance the customer experience overall. Questions we'll take at the end of the presentation. You can get them in throughout using the button that's on your screen. And let's learn more now about the company Shekel Brainweigh with its Australian country manager, Danny Nadri. Danny?
Thank you, Nadine. It's a pleasure. And thank you for the opportunity to introduce Shekel Brainweigh, and also for the opportunity to leave the house today in Sydney. So that's wonderful to be able to be in the office. And for the excellent introduction you made to Shekel Brainweigh. So that's good. I hope you all see the screen. Like Nadine said, Shekel is a global market leader in advanced weighing technology. So we started with really understanding how to weigh stuff digitally already almost 50 years now. And that became a strong leader in this market. And we operate today in two distinct businesses, if you will, or two distinct divisions of the business. And on the left side, you'll see Shekel Scale, Shekel Scale, which is really where the core revenue is coming in for the last few years, with strong ability in digital weighing, and see some of the clients like GE Healthcare being the single largest client of the business, Fujitsu, Toshiba, and others. On the right-hand side, you'll see our new tech venture, which is it's really a startup in the last few years. We took the core competency in sensor, added significant artificial intelligence and complexity of machine learning capability to really create a new enabling technology, a smart shelf or a smart surface. That technology already received significant awards and confirmation from giants like Intel, and we're working together with Hitachi and strong players in the US like Inbera, which is the second largest producer of industrial fridges, to introduce the technology and start commercializing. How it works, sorry. A bit of a corporate overview on the business. We, like Nadine said, we exist over a few decades now, but the business listed on the Australian Stock Exchange in November 2018, operates globally, about 155 employees, about 100 of them are in Israel, 50 or so in Asia, and the rest of us are around the world, including Australia. Has a few major shareholders that listed the business and 28% float. What we experience on the financial side is, like we said in the beginning of the year, we already saw the growth happening this year, and we now had two consecutive record quarter, both in Q1 and Q2, which ended the first half of our calendar at about $10.5 million US in revenue. And that compares to the whole of 2020 with 18.3. So we already see a significant growth on two divisions happening. We'll also see an improved gross profit. And in order to strengthen our balance sheet, we had two tranches of raising capital this year following the raise in the IPO. 2.1 million were raised in placement in the beginning of the year on the ASX, and another 5 million US through a fund in Israel. So a total of about 8 million Aussie raised this year to support the business. Quickly about some of our very experienced board. Alex Shaw is our chairman and CEO. He comes from many years managing Tnuva, the largest retailer and food manufacturer in Israel, $2 billion US in annual revenue. So definitely very experienced in taking a scale on a business, take it from a certain stage and grow it to a very large level. Phenomenal experience on the retail space. We have Beth Kaplan, which really is a strong, experienced businesswoman from the United States with a very strong connection to the retail space in the United States. Michael Hughes is our non-executive Australian director and has also experience with few ASX and financial organizations in the United States. Maybe worth mentioning Tzipi Avioz, which is another non-executive director. She's an Israeli who lived in Australia for many years, 10 years with Woolworth in their innovation division. So very experienced with retail and the tech world. Really to look at, have a kind of brief look at our calendar year 21, and the first half of the year, we already experienced a growth of 35% compared to the year before. As you'll see on the graph here, especially in Q2, we see a significant growth compared to Q2 of 2020, and really show resilience of the business following COVID. There was a bit of a scare, if you will, during 2020, that because of all the changes, it will dramatically impact the business for a long time. What we see already in 21 is return to growth on both divisions and in significant numbers. And we, like it says, we see the growth both on the retail innovation division, but also our new startup has an exciting start to the year, already suppressing all of 2020 in 24% of the growth. So if I would just summarize who we are, we like to say that we're a technology innovator startup underpinned by an established business. Our presentation today would really focus on this new technology startup with its exciting opportunities that it's targeting. We're very active in both markets of the retail and healthcare industries. This is a strong point. Intel started to look at the business about 2 years ago, as we reported in the ASX, and following 2 years, we already have 4 Gold Partner Awards with them on different categories of the new startup. So we definitely see strong validation for the technology and the products of the new startup from Intel. And regarding the solutions that we offer, we mainly want to bring new products and new solutions to the retail industry using a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning capability. I'm going to go quickly into a short movie about the retail innovation and the market we operate, and maybe give you a brief review of it.
With the rise of e-commerce, retailers face dramatic challenges, decreasing margins and fierce competition, disrupting the traditional $30 trillion global industry. Shekel Brainweigh has developed and is now introducing the next big thing. Our groundbreaking product-aware technology analyzes store shelves, instantly identifying every product and event. Based on IoT load sensors and advanced AI and machine learning models, Shekel Brainweigh is redefining precision. Shekel Brainweigh's platform seamlessly integrates with cameras and inventory management and POS systems, enabling an autonomous shopping experience. Shekel Brainweigh packs its innovative field-proven technologies into a versatile product line, starting with a product-aware shelf and a complete retail gondola. Through Innovendi, next-generation refrigerated vending machines and dry vending cabinets, up to an unattended autonomous micro-markets. Shekel Brainweigh's product-aware technology is vital for retailers to better address market challenges. It enables autonomous stores and frictionless shopping experiences, enhances inventory management, cutting out of stock and off-sale losses. This carries a lot of weight. World-leading retailers, system integrators and technology vendors are working with us to lead the future of retail. Jump on board with Shekel Brainweigh.
Thank you. Just get back to the presentation again. So that was a bit more about the market that we operate in, and I don't think we need to go too much detail. This is a massive market, so we all know that the retail industry is huge, and what we think we bring to market is a really scalable and cost-effective solution when we compare ourselves to RFID, computer vision cameras. We think that with solutions that we brought to market is far more scalable and much more accurate in their performance. So what does the retail innovation division really bring to market. So as we said, we start with a very smart sensors. We then combine artificial intelligence to create what we call a smart bay, the ability to track any product that move out or into a shelf and really understand consumer engagement with product on shelf. So that's the first building block, and retailer around the world start to use it, even in Australia with a major retailer. We then take some of their capability on these smart shelves and put it into smart fridges. And we have now the first generation Innovendi, which was sold started selling in Israel. We have more than 100 of these machines already installed in offices and buildings and different commercial areas. And now with the second generation targeting the US market together with Invera and Power Level, called the Hubs. And our end game, if you will, is this autonomous micro market capsule, a store that allows you to just walk in, take whatever products you want and walk out, completely frictionless, not really needed to see anybody. And these are the type of products that the division is bringing to market and started commercializing a year ago. So really we briefly spoke about it, but already in the first quarter of 2021, this particular division made already $125,000 and doubled it in the second quarter. So we start to see this significant growth on demand for the products of this division. And we will end up the first half in $380,000. I'm talking just about the new startup. What we see also very interesting is in Paris with retailer Casino Monoprix, one of the largest retailer in France, took the first autonomous store end of 2020. And a month ago, we announced the second store in Rue de Marseille in Paris. And that's already a store within a store. Again, we'll go into a quick movie to show a client in the store once this is actually happening. It's not happening. So here you see that how she enters the store. All she needs to do is introduce a credit card or debit card. Once the information is validated as her payment system, she will walk in, basically take products as she sees fit. She's now checking that the product is what she took, and she can basically confirm the order. What she'll continue demonstrating is really that she can also return the product if she decided not to take them. So if the consumer decide that really what he took is not to his liking, other vending or other solutions, you just cancel the order and walk away.
Get out.
Basically allowing completely seamless operation, if you will. I'll go back to the presentation. Right. And what we see in this market is really a growth of and demand, and the whole industry is taking a turn on all the categories that we provide solutions. So both on smart coolers, micro markets, autonomous stores, and autonomous convenience operation. Globally, we see all the graphs going up with more and more solution in this field. The whole industry is going into a lot more automation, a lot more frictionless type shopping, and being much closer to the client with the smaller shops around the world is really the trend. The business model for the products is fairly similar. We first sell the hardware, being either a bay for a few thousand or a smart fridge for 6,500 US, and it gets about 10 grand Aussie, if you will, in Australia. And once we sell the hardware, we start to collect monthly SaaS fee. This is the money that we charge for providing the data on real time to the operator. So if somebody took a yogurt from an Innovendi in some airport or in university, we immediately report it to the operator, and that really helped them plan replenishing, plan their usage of different products in different vending machines or different stores. And this whole data is something that we attribute a lot of value, and the retailer attribute a lot of value to. So we collect on a monthly SaaS once we deliver the hardware. And that's really a way for us to engage with our clients for a long time. And there's also the idea that in the future, once we collect a lot of data from a lot of stores, so let's say we know exactly what somebody took from a shelf in Wollongong compared to Melbourne, compared to Parramatta, we can apply business intelligence algorithm to the data and then be able to recommend on planogram or where to place products or how many products to place where. So that's really where the company is aiming in terms of data management of retail activity. Really important to note that the retail space is not new to Shekel. Already here, you'll see that our scale division selling in the retail space for the last 10 years, do it very successfully to very, very large clients and operators in this market. So our new retail innovation division also build all this relationship to develop the relationship with Intel and Hitachi and others to bring solutions exactly to the same industry. And here we're happy to see an example in an office building in Israel where the client bought one Innovendi, but it went really well, and he bought another two, they bought another two. So now there are 3 Innovendis operating just one next to the other, really leading the path to a complete autonomous store in this area. I don't know that we have a lot of time to go into the technology, but I'm happy to take questions. But what I can say is that our technology is not only patented, but bring accuracy level that this industry was not able to achieve with cameras and other solutions. And we reach a really high level of accuracy and flexibility, dealing with a lot of products, 10 per shelf. And what is more important is scalability. The whole solution is much more scalable than what we saw in solutions like Amazon Go and others that really allow what the industry needs in terms of scalability of solutions. Just a few words about Shekel Scale. It's really the core of the business in terms of revenue, understanding of sensors, understanding of really how to do things faster and more efficient in terms of sensing of scale. Operates in few different market segments, healthcare being one of them, the retail is the other, but also in the industry and OEM capability. And that is the division that still is providing the major share of the revenue and profitable, probably on a range of $2 to $2.5 million US a year EBITDA. That's important to note. Shekel is a global company that operates around the world. We're less affected by just one particular jurisdiction. We had a case in last year that France got into lockdown, but at the same time we were able to get new clients from Sweden and the Netherlands and Poland in Europe. Same works for the US and other jurisdictions. So the fact that you operate through different major clients and major territories gave us the confidence that we can sustain COVID, we can go forward and actually grow through different jurisdictions. In terms of major milestone, like I said, the company started already almost 50 years ago, but listed on the exchange in 2018, predominantly to fund the new retail innovation. Since then, we were able to commercialize the Innovendi, launched the capsule last year, and this year launched the hubs, the new fridge smart cooler for the US market, already with an order of 30 machines from this market, which is quite fantastic to see that it's actually coming on board. And what we see is continued commercialization on all of these products that we bring to market. A bit about the outlook, like we mentioned before, we see 21 as the year where we start growing on both categories of the business, and we see this already in the numbers, and we expect this to grow, acquiring few clients, new clients, and we also continue major investment in R&D. One product which we call the Fast Track is a really cool solution that would help the whole experience in self-checkout to be very much seamless and much faster than it is today. Not like you put a bananas and need to find it on the screen, and it will just make the whole process a lot faster, relying on existing hardware and just implementing a software solution on a SaaS model. And we're looking forward to introduce this already in this year, in the second half of this year. And while we continue to invest in R&D on both divisions. So to summarize why we think this is an excellent opportunity for investors, we think that technology is something that is quite unique in the sense that it's very hard to reach for competitors. The combination of hardware and software together is something that really positions us ahead of anybody else, with Genius Lab being in Israel and getting talent from there as well. We think leadership is something which is so important in tech ventures, and especially the ability to pivot or take our leadership that wasn't complacent with just being a profitable business, but looked to the future, started to invest and putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak, and continue to fund this new startup together with the investors is something that is important. And really the market that we operate here, the retail market, is a huge market. The opportunity ahead of this division is just enormous. And even if you take a small percentage of this market, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to grow. Really, Nadine, I think we finished the formal presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Really interesting. We have a number of questions that have come in, Danny, if you want to just get ready for that. This is from Jonathan saying, I'm puzzled. Market cap for Shekel is currently 22 million. You appear to be on track for calendar 21 revenue of 28 million. That's less than 1 times revenue. So what am I missing?
That's $1 million question. I wish I could have a really, I wish I could have a really good question, but a good answer to this. But I think that, definitely the investors that funded the business and have find it really an anomaly. We listed on a value of 50 million Aussie, and we definitely added a lot of value in the last 2.5 years. So looking what the business has achieved just in the last 2.5 years in terms of growing both divisions, bringing solutions to market, start commercializing, the relationship that we had with this giant tech really places us in a position not really understanding why is it priced on the ASX in this price, and we definitely think that the value of the business should be somewhere else. And we keep on working hard to convince the people that we are a different type of business in terms of size and scale, and the opportunity and the blue sky, if you will, behind the retail innovation division is just enormous.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Yeah, apologies for interrupting. So again, it's on revenue. Margaret says you've just announced some pretty impressive revenue numbers for the calendar year. Was this from a broad range of clients, or is this put down to a few sort of lumpy orders?
No, most of what we do involve very large clients that have been with us for a while. So when GE places an order with us, it's not an order that, GE alone is somewhere in the range of 2.5 to 3 million US a year. So most of our clients are clients that have been with us for a long time, checked the technology, implemented it within their product, and selling our solutions. Some of it involve products that are branded as Shekel product, let's say in the healthcare industry. And we have, for example, a distributor in Newcastle in Australia, and they market it to hospitals or nursing home and things of that nature. And they will sell, a few $100,000 a year. But we don't sell things for $2,000, if you will, like for one client. We are selling to large clients that sell globally. And when we work with vending machine operators, or we work with a retailer, like the largest retailer in Australia, they would normally buy not on a monthly basis, but they would think about it as implementing it on a commercial level within their operation.
Okay, another one from James, and this was sort of on my mind as well. Can you elaborate Shekel's competitive advantage over Amazon's solution? Is there scope for Amazon to offer a hybrid solution that includes Shekel's weighing technology? And do you think Amazon knows about Shekel technology? Has that come across your desk?
It would be interesting. I think that Amazon must know about it because Intel is looking to get into this space strongly, and I'm sure they're looking at each other. Look, there's been different forms of technology in this space, and we are definitely not the only one developing solution for the retail. And most of the industry looked at computer vision or cameras as a solution to look at products and people as they enter a space. We don't believe that cameras are good enough to handle products. So they can possibly, and camera understands very well that Nadine walked into a certain area, a space, and create a polygon around you and see how you walk around the store. It's very difficult for camera to realize that you took 2 bars of chocolates and not just 1. And that's where we think the strength is, our ability to scale the data and to be a lot more accurate than anything that computer vision is doing is phenomenal. As to the second part of the question, and also more scalable from a cost. People don't think of cameras as being expensive, but the whole data processing behind images is enormous in terms of cost. Whatever Amazon is doing in the last 5 years, in 5 years, they introduced less than 20 stores around the world. Even Woolies, I think, has 1,000 stores. Once we start to introduce it, already have 3 autonomous stores. And what we bring to market is not something that costs a few millions per store, but a few 100,000 per store. And that's so important to retailers. As far as the second part of the question, it's a really a good question, and I think James asked the right concept. I think eventually the industry is going to land on fusion of sensors. It's not going to be just one that control the solution, and it well may be a fusion of solutions. Particularly to Amazon, they like to think of themselves as the retailer themselves. They want to be on their own. But we have a solution that we can offer to Woolies and to Coles and to Monoprix and to the next store that we're opening is actually in the pharmaceutical retail, like the Chemist Warehouse, if you will. So we want to be completely agnostic and be able to offer the technology to anybody who's interested. But the question relating to the fusion of sensors is very correct. I think that's the direction the industry will take.
Okay. This is coming from Katrina. She says, what are the margins like that you receive on the vending machine hardware and the monthly recurring revenue for the SaaS component of the machines?
It's still something that we work on together with some partners. Depends if we sell with partners or without, but it's on hardware. Normally the margins will be on the range of 50-60% on the product. On the software is normally north of 90%.
Okay. We've got one from Julie. She says, how are employees in sales and marketing, or how many are employed, excuse me, in sales and marketing, and how are they incentivized?
Not enough. I don't know the exact numbers, but definitely the money that was raised in the last 6 months had its major target around sales and marketing and being present in a lot more places. So something that was starting at as 15, 17 people in this new retail innovation division, this new startup has to grow, and it has to grow on the sales and marketing. And most of the money that we're using today is either optimization of services or investing in sales and marketing. People talk about Japan as being a massive potential market to go after. Definitely do more in Europe. So I'm not sure about the number, but I'm sure it's too small for now. So we definitely need to do more in the sales and marketing. And that's the major focus with the money that we raise. We need more people to be present in front of clients, to be jumping on planes, do what you need to do to really scale this solution.
And Maddie has asked, what is your current cash burn across the business, and is it improving? Can it be improved?
We will release financials by the end of August, and we will know better what it is. It used to be on the range of $250K US a month. We know it's better now. So I don't know to say exactly what it will be until the end of August, but we know it's better than what it used to be, just because we improved dramatically on the gross margin on some of the operation. At the same time, we want to continue and spend on R&D and forcing the division even further. So it's a balance between what we want to spend compared to the EBITDA, positive EBITDA we had on the other business.
Well, Danny, it's been a pleasure to learn about Shekel Brainweigh for myself. I'm sure I speak on behalf of many others out there. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. A pleasure for me as well.